So just want to say congratulations to the Bradford Bulls. They have returned to the English Super League. So we're all very pleased they have returned. It's been many years they've been in the English Championship, fighting to get back into the Super League. So all the clubs around Yorkshire will be happy they have returned. They will reunite the rivalry with Leeds Rhinos. They did beat the Leeds Rhinos back in 2005 in the English Super League Grand Final. That was the last appearance in the English Grand Final. Since then, they've had stadium troubles, they've had club management troubles, players' troubles, owed money to the HM Revenue Tax Office as well. So it's great to see the club back in Super League for 2026. There will be other clubs joining the Bradford Bulls in the English Super League, which will be announced shortly. But the Salford Red Devils, they will drop out of the English Super League due to financial troubles. Basically now all the clubs are basically audited through the new IMG franchise system, which basically looks at all the financial issues of the clubs, how ticket allocations and things like that, how much their stadium holds, and that's how they kind of rank the clubs based on that. They did one, and Hull KR are currently the first. They're rated the top side overall, and Leeds Rhinos are second, for example, over attendances and financial salary caps and them kind of things. So it's good to see the Bradford Bulls back in. Coach Brian Noble, who won their premierships, he was coach this year. He has stepped down. He will go to a sporting director role at the Bulls, so they will get a new coach from next year, and they'll also be after some new players because they'll need to compete in Super League, and so it should be very interesting. Previously, we've had Super League clubs not really wanting more teams added to the English Super League because there hasn't been enough money to go around for starters, and the clubs basically have said there's not enough money to go around, and shared between 12 clubs it's been a struggle. And we saw that during COVID where clubs weren't getting any people in the doors. They had to make redundancies, and we saw that in the NRL a little bit, but not as much as the English Super League. So there isn't enough money in the English Super League. We know that it's been compared to the NRL anyway. So it's just been a tough slug for some of these clubs to kind of get some money back since COVID and manage their financial affairs. But it's just been like that for many, many years in Super League in general, but the last 15, 20 years. But more and more clubs are getting financial backing now that they're getting more, financial owners who can support these clubs a bit more. Whereas in the past, we had, any man and his dog were trying to take over clubs and not really running them correctly and not really running them from the club's interest, only for their own benefit, So it's great to see Super League really auditing basically these clubs now to make sure they are financial viable and they can sustain a Super League going forward for the future. In the past, there's also been some problems with like the academies, so there's been a lot of clubs not wanting to run a reserve grade because of financial commitments. So there's been a bit of diversity in the English Super League over the last 15, 20 years. All the clubs sometimes agree on things and sometimes they don't, which is only natural, but English Super League is only going to get better and stronger if all the clubs unite together and make these decisions together rather their own interests at heart. So we're all excited to see the English Super League do well, and it's important for rugby league in general to see the English Super League doing well. We've also seen Darren Lockyer invest in the London Broncos, so that's obviously a good sign that there's people in the NRL that want to take these clubs forward and doesn't really want to see them struggle. We've seen players from the NRL that have gone to English Super League For example, Luke Keary's went to the Catalan Dragons this season and was kind of crying out for people to financially get involved in the English Super League because the clubs are in such a financial situation. So overall, some positive news coming out of the English Super League regarding the Bradford Bulls.